Everybody, welcome. We are recording to the cloud as well as streaming on YouTube. Welcome to the January Krista McAuliffe Intermediate School PTO general meeting. I want to thank everybody for coming. We still have a few people coming in. Oh, we have quite a few. So let's just, we'll get started with some of the homework stuff, some of the stuff that we have to get done, and we'll move into a question and answer period pretty quickly. Not a lot going on, but there's some stuff we want to speak about. But before we do that, I'd like to ask Madeline to put up the minutes from last month's meeting. Everyone should have received an email that had the minutes, the treasurer's report, and the interim financial report. Check your emails. We've been having problems, as you all know, with pupil path, and that's impacted the email situation, but we're doing the best we can with the tools that we have. So it's wonderful. So Dr. Steiner is joining us from his car. So I'm going to leave this up here just like that. It's actually perfect. And I'm going to make a motion to waive the reading, and people can look at it. If they have any specific questions, they can ask it either in the chat or raise their hand. Can I get a second about waiving the reading?
To second that.
Thank you, Doctor. So we'll leave this up there for a few minutes while people are still coming in anyway, and then we'll go on. Okay. Okay, great. Does anybody have any questions on the meeting minutes from last month? If you do, put it in the chat. If not, we'll make a motion to approve the minutes. Can I get a second?
I second that.
Thank you. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Madeline. From there, we'll let Madeline, she's going to show two reports. She's first going to show the traditional January report that shows just what we've done since December. And then she'll also share the interim financial report, which is where we are from July 1st to December 31st. Madeline, take it away.
Okay, thank you very much, Vito. So the first report we have is from this past month. So we started the month with $82,086.66. We brought in $221.58 in membership donations. We also brought in a little over $4,000 for our fall photos. And we took in about $2,400 for our snack. So our income this period was $6,734.58. Our expenses ranged for mostly for Snack Shack. I keep calling it Shake Shack, sorry. For Snack Shack, teacher appreciation, and the pizza parties that took place because certain classes received a certain percentage of students whose parents donated to the PTO. So our total expenses for that period was $3,194.77. That left us with a balance of $85,626.97. Does anyone have any questions about the treasurer's report, the January report, before I move on to the interim report? Okay, seeing none, I am going to go to our interim report. Okay, can everyone see the interim PA report? Just making sure. Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, good to go.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so we began, so this report is in the city's fiscal year. So it starts July 1 of 2021, and it goes through December 31st of 2021. We then will have to do another report that ends June 30th, 2022, that will cover the entire fiscal year's income and expenses for the 187 PTO. So our beginning balance on July 1 of 2021 was $61,966.13. We took in $48,818.36 in membership donations, $7,321.76 for Snack Shack, $45 for apparel, and for photography, we took in $4,031.70. Total income from July 1 through December 31st was $60,216.82. Our expenses, we had school air conditioning repairs and maintenance, which totaled $6,090. School assemblies, which totaled $10,500. Snack Shack expenses were $4,982.20. Bank fees, $230.75. Professional fees, which is basically our accountant, was $800. Hospitality, water, and CEC dues totaled $2,580.89. The student planners and the writing booklets that everyone should have totaled $10,726.62. And just regular PTA supplies and postage was $181. Student incentives, which is basically the pizza parties, was $464.52. So our total expenses from July 1 through December 31 totaled $36,555.98. So that left us with a fund balance of $85,626.97 as of December 31st. Now, mind you, that this total is going to be different than the total on the January report I just gave you, since this is through December 31st, and the other report includes everything after December 31st. Does anyone have any questions? Not seeing any. Vito?
Thank you very much, Madeline. So great. So now I don't have a ton of stuff. I know people are really concerned about admissions, whether we have admissions for our middle school, because we have siblings in Christa McAuliffe, and there was some question about sibling preference. So the DOE has said that they're going to give sibling preference to 6th grade students only. And they're very clear about the reasoning behind that. They don't want to give 7th grade siblings, they don't want to give kids preference if they have a child who sibling who's in 7th grade, because they believe that because they tested in those children in 7th grade, that it's an equity issue and it's not fair for kids to have a preference if they come from families who tested in. In my role as a CEC and in my role as PTO president, I have complained about that officially. I am going to have a meeting with Sarah Kleinhandler, I believe. She's the head of enrollment. I'm going to have a meeting with her on Friday, and we're going to bring this up. We'll also have a resolution passed for the with the CEC, and we're also going to elevate that. I submitted an op-ed, I contributed to an op-ed that my friends wrote, and that's pending to see if that's going to be accepted. But the truth of the matter is there's very little that we can do to move the needle. I would suggest to anybody who's interested to contact their council member and their state senator and tell them that you don't like it, that you feel that it's discriminatory. And some of the words that that individuals like to use is disparate impact. Our 7th grade has more white and Asian children than the 6th grade. And their view is we want to make it fairer, but their view of being fair is to discriminate against Asian and white children. And that's a disparate impact. I don't believe it's right for them to do so. And I've, expressed that both in writing and verbally, and I'll continue to do so in whatever whatever venue I can. But so I'm very sorry that we can't do more, but it is what it is. As far as middle school admissions and later, as far as high school admissions, if there's a lottery component, we know there was a lottery component in the middle school admissions process. So you could request that lottery number and you could get that right now. I will post in the Facebook group and the Facebook page the way that we go about to do that. You have to submit, I believe, a copy of your driver's license as well as the request. I'll get you all of the information as to who you make that request to, and then you will get a number. That number is a hexadecimal something number. And if you know what you're looking at, you can tell kind of sort of how high up or how good a number it is, although you really don't know until all of the people pick their number. And not to get too far in the weeds, but I'm not a math person, and I was concerned that people who apply later would get a less good number. But so now my friends dumbed it down for me. So it's like a giant fish bowl with more than enough numbers, 200,000 numbers in it. So people pick a number when they enroll, or a number is assigned to that person when they enroll, and the last number in the jar could be the best number. So it does not matter when you pick the number. I'm sure all you smart people knew that, but it took really someone sitting down and explaining that to me, because I'm thinking, well, it has to be all given or all picked at the same time, but that is not the case. So here's the thing, though, everyone, you have to look on our Facebook or WeChat, because that's where we put the information. I can't send out emails that are not narrowly focused to the PTO's mission as it relates to our school. So all of this extra information that I have, I could only do it to our personal Facebook page. That was something that happened last year, not the fault of this administration, but it was something else that we don't need to get into. But please, you could always email me for more information, and I'll give you as much information as I can. High school admissions. Congratulations, the Brooklyn and the Manhattan Catholic school results came out today and I think last week. Congratulations, anybody who got a acceptance. As far as specialized high school results, we're thinking the end of March, beginning of April. The high school admissions process will officially open, they said, the week of January 24th. So be on the lookout for that. We don't know if that's going to have a lottery component. We don't know. We're thinking that it was going to have some kind of a borough preference, so that if your child is in District 20, the Brooklyn schools, he'll have a better chance of getting into the Brooklyn schools than he otherwise would have if it was a citywide admission process. The downside to that is a lot of really good schools in Manhattan, such as Baruch, so many of them, Millennium, Bard. Our children are going to have a very difficult time getting into those schools because there's also a Manhattan preference for people who live in Manhattan. So unfortunately, that's the way it is. We'll have to see what's going on. I will tell you that a lot more people took the specialized high school exam because of all the uncertainty in the screened high schools. So there's a lot of competition out there. And of course, we still have the 20% discovery set aside that our children at 1A7 cannot participate in. So that's as far as admissions, that's what I have. Please sign in Facebook, go into Facebook, the Krista McAuliffe page, and join Place New York City. That's another Facebook group, Facebook page, and we'll get you some information out there that goes above and beyond what we can say here. I don't see Manal here. Is Manal here? So we do want to talk about our.
She's here.
She's here. So at this time, I'm like to Manal, can you activate your camera? I'll make you a co-host if I can find you.
I'm under Layla. I'm under my daughter's.
Layla Zayob. Yes, I see you. Zoabi. Layla Zoabi. I'm gonna make you a co-host.
Yeah, sorry.
No worries. Hello, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
So I just want to introduce you to the crowd and say that you're going to be chairman of the Gala Committee. Thank you so much for taking on this responsibility.
Sure.
You have a current 6th grader, and you tell us what you got. I'm very excited.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Vito. So my name is Manel Zoabi. I'm the mom of Jad Zoabi in the 6th grade. and I am the chairperson for the gala this year. I'm very excited to be in this role. I know it will be a very big undertaking, but I'm excited to do it. And we're hoping that this year is going to be better than ever. The gala theme this year is still to be decided. We have a lot going on, and we would love gala committee volunteers. That's really why I'm here today, so we can try to have as many volunteers on our committee as possible to help out with theme development, to help out with soliciting donations, working the event itself on the day of, and also just really providing us with the resources that we need to pull off a fantastic event. The details for the event are as follows. May 6th is a Friday night, and it will be at the Diker Beach Golf Course, and that's on 86th Street, right off of 7th Avenue. It's a great venue. It will be a lot of fun. We will have a DJ, and we will make it a really exciting event. We're hoping that we can also invite staff and really have a big staff turnout. We would love to have as many teachers and staff attend as possible. I promise we will try to make it so much fun and also really exciting with a lot of great prizes to win and raffles, and I have a few ideas up my sleeve. So I love planning events. It's one of my favorite things to do. So I hope to really be helping to produce a great event. And please, if you are interested in volunteering, we are sending out a letter tomorrow with my information. Feel free to contact me, and I would love some help. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, great. Thank you. We had a 2-year pause, and we're going to come back better than ever. And I think people are ready to get together in person, and we'll follow whatever the guidelines are that we're allowed to follow, that we're required to follow. It's like any other restaurant or gathering. Similarly, for 8th grade parents, we do have a tentative date booked for the 8th grade dance. It's something we haven't been able to do for the last 2 years. It's June 8th at Encore. It's 101st Street and 4th Avenue. I'll be there guarding the door like I've done. I volunteered to do that every year. We have to make sure that it's within the guidelines as far as the DOE guidelines, and also as far as the regular restaurant meeting together guidelines. And we're going to follow whatever those are. Graduation, June 23rd. That's set, and that's going to be at the Ford Amphitheater, back to there. So that's very exciting. We'll be working on that going forward. And unfortunately, we had to cancel John Halligan because it was just too much uncertainty coming back from the break and with COVID. And so we're hoping that by the end of February or the beginning of March, we'll be able to reschedule him. I'm going to reach out to him this week to see what we can do. And are there any questions for me or the PTA before we get on to Mr. Berman? I know he's the star of the show. Everyone wants to ask him questions, but
Vito?
yes.
I just wanted to say, I know there's some parents that weren't, overly thrilled with their child's school photo. I'm one of those parents, and we did have a retake day, but again, because of COVID, we canceled it. So we should have a date within the next month. We'll give you plenty of notice so that, again, if your child needs a retake, you'll have plenty of time to plan for that.
Thank you, Kim, not Morgan. I want to find you and make you co-host. If someone finds Kim, make her a co-host, will you? No, I see you. There we go. Great. So that's all that I have. Any questions in the chat for me? If not, I actually have another engagement. That's why I put the jacket on. I'm going to leave you to Madeline. She's going to take over and read questions to Mr. Berman. I don't see anything for me. Place New York City. Yes. Look at placenewyorkcity.org. Look at that. Look us up. Google us. There is a Washington Post article that came out this afternoon, and we were featured there. We're talking about how parents are very upset with the direction of their children's education, how parents are being listened to, how parents who want the type of education that our parents want are being dismissed. And this is a nationwide movement of parents standing up. So I posted that article again on Facebook and again on WeChat. So please read that article. It's about us. It really is. It's about us. With that, Madeline, I'm going to hand it to you as hosting duties, and you can introduce Mr. Berman.
Thank you very much, Vito. Okay, next up is Mr. Berman with the principal's report.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thanks for coming. Thank you, Mr. Labella. Appreciate it. And Mrs. Ligori, thank you for taking over the reins. Appreciate it. And you know, it's a January PTA meeting. Thank you to the rest of the 43 or 42 of you for coming out. And I'm happy to answer some questions and give you an update on some of the things going on. Can you all hear me okay? Great. Okay. Super. Thank you. Let's see. So I'd love to start and share some great news with you. There were two things that I had kind of working this year. One of them sort of went into last year. You know, we have a lot of extra money this year that we don't normally have in our budget. And so we thought it was really important to use it wisely. And I think we have been. One of the things that we tried to do, and we were currently successful, we received notification last week that the project was going to continue, was to provide updated and appropriate air conditioning for our auditorium and our cafeteria. Both spaces where your children spend an awful lot of time, whether they're in the band or the chorus or coming into school in the morning or at a performance or an assembly or what have you, or eating in our cafeteria. So, you know, providing an appropriate and comfortable experience for your children while they're in school is really super important. We have air conditioning in all of our classrooms now. Those were two areas that we've really kind of struggled with. And we had some extra money last year, but we're not able to get the project done for a variety of reasons that were beyond our control. And we worked really hard this year to make sure that we didn't run into the same problems. And sometimes it's just a phone call to the right person or two that's able to get the job done. And that's kind of what happened this year. So we will be receiving split unit air conditioning in the auditorium and the cafeteria. It's of particular significance in the auditorium because those window units are really loud. And for performers, to increase the decibel level in there was not the way to go. So this is really going to be great for our student performers, for our audience, and for our school. So we're looking forward to that. That project is given the green light, and that'll be done within the next few months. The other project was the audio project that I talked about a month or so ago. That purchase order went through. We've got one demo unit that was delivered back to us today. We have our superintendent coming for one of the two annual principal performance evaluations on Monday. So we wanted to be sure that that was something that we got a chance for him to make sure to take a look at before our classroom units come in. We got units for every classroom, and I know somebody here was asking about them. They're light speed units, and since our order's in, I'm happy to share anything you'd like about them. And light speed, they're on FAMUS. You can look them up if you're interested for another school's purchase. They're terrific. And I look forward to getting some real feedback to you from our students and from our staff, but we've already demoed them in 3 classrooms already, and the teachers are basically communicating to us something like, "Oh, please don't take these from us, please, please." So really happy about that. So those are two great things going on. I'd like to provide you with a little bit of a technology update that I received some information today that there's a new technology area called Support Hub for students and families to get tech support. If you have a DOE device, or you're having any trouble with a DOE system, you can go to your NYC schools account. I can put that link in the chat here, and you can get you'll be directed from there to the support hub, again, for technical support. There's another piece that I wanted to bring up. Yes, devices for students. If any of our students need devices, please let your facilitator know. Me know, let Mrs. Palumbo know. We will get you the device that you need. We do not have devices that come with internet service, but we do have Chromebooks that we can provide to families. And there may be some resources, depending on where you live and your zip code, for free internet access that we may be able to help provide to those devices if you should need them. So those devices are there. Before we get to questions, I'd love to share one more piece. We don't often get a chance to talk about data, and but I'd love to be able to share some of the current Iready data, because we get it right away. You know, your children are currently, if you didn't know, your children are currently taking the reading portion of the Iready. They had baseline in September. This is the mid-year assessment. There'll be another one in the spring. Our 6th and 7th graders are in the process of finishing the reading component. The 8th graders will be taking that, I believe, tomorrow. And then we'll have a few makeups. But I'll just share with you a little bit of data about our school. And let's see if I can, if you make me a co-host, I should be able to share some data, to share my screen. Let's see, I think.
You should be able to share your co-host.
Great. There we go. Can you see that? Oh, okay, great. So this is current Iready data. We're looking at the mid-year assessment, which is going on now, and we're comparing that to the beginning of the year assessment that happened in September and October. So what you can see is this top line here for the mid-year. The bottom was the beginning of the year, and there are 5 segments on each bar of varying lengths, and the segments refer to levels. So right now we're looking at 5 level, right? So you'll have this hashed green bar, which would be level 5, level 4, level 3, level 2, and level 1. Another way to look at this is that students who are in the solid green are basically at grade level at some point during that school year, maybe a little above, but right around at that grade level. The hashed mark are students who are above grade level, and the orange is a little bit below grade level, one grade level below, and more than one grade level below for the level 1 there. So what you can see are the numbers of students who are performing at these particular levels. The other way this is broken down, which I'll show you, is by particular domains, as they're called. So we have things like phonological awareness, how children are able to speak letters and words. It's similar to phonics, understanding letters, understanding what they are on a printed page. High frequency words, this refers to students' knowledge of words that are very common in the English language. Vocabulary, ability learning new words, understanding more complex words. And then of course, comprehension for literature and informational text. So you can see where our students tend to do better and areas where they need more support. And in fact, this year, one of our areas of focus is on vocabulary, based on the information that we got from the beginning of the year and taking a look and seeing what our students really need. So if we look, we can compare, let's see if I can move this out of the way. There we go, that's a little better for me. We can compare our grade 6 beginning in the middle, 7th beginning of the year, in the middle of the year, and grade 8, you don't see any data there because they haven't taken it yet, right? So if we look, what are we seeing here in our 6th grade? Well, from the beginning of the year to the middle of the year, we see more students moving to the top levels here, from 35 to 38, from 17 to 22%, all right? Well, those students have to come from somewhere, where they're coming from these bottom levels, right? We saw a lot of movement here at this level 2, from 12% to 5% here. What you can see is where we're not seeing a lot of growth and where we need to target more of our efforts is right here at the very bottom. Students who are at level 1, and we're not seeing a lot of movement there. That's not atypical. But we are seeing some nice movement here. Of course, we want to see more, and we'll see what the 8th grade looks like as well. And you know, people are often asking about the difference between the 6th grade and the 7th grade. You can see the difference sort of here, right? When you look at the grades and you look at the distribution for the 6th grade compared to the 7th grade, that makes more sense. That makes sense that this would be more of a distribution in the 6th grade than it would be for the 7th grade, because the 7th grade students were screened before they came in. The 6th grade students were not. And if you look, it's almost, you can see the distribution there among the different levels there, where it's more skewed in the 7th grade. And you would expect that, and we'd expect that in the 8th grade. And so if we look at the 7th grade, again, we're seeing some very nice progress here from the beginning of the year at 75% at the very highest levels, now at 82% of the highest levels, right? We're getting back to more of where we were before the pandemic with this particular grade, with these numbers. Not necessarily with these individual students, but in general, students who we had in the past come in screen were scoring in the 80s and the 90s, not so much in the 70s. We were very surprised to see the 70s in the beginning of the year. And again, you can see that movement here. There were fewer at the solid green level, level 4. They moved to the higher levels. Where we're not seeing a lot of movement is at the very bottom. And again, where we need to focus more of our efforts. So these data are starting to bear some fruit. We're in the process of sort of collaborating these data with the data that the teachers are seeing in the classroom, making sure that there are no errors in administration here. The system is pretty good for ruling those things out. We do these in school under supervised conditions so that we, try and get the best data that we can to try and see, how the students are doing and how we're doing. And so we're seeing some nice growth here. Are we done? No, we're not. We still have more work to do. But in general, I'm pleased with the direction of the things that we're seeing so far. I look forward to seeing some more of that 8th grade data and sharing some of that data with you. So with that, I'll stop sharing the screen. I can put it back on if you've got any questions about that, but I'll stop chatting right now and turn it over to Mrs. Ligori, who can start firing away at those questions, and feel free to ask anything you like, if it was something you had in mind or something that I talked about, or Mr. Labella or Mrs. Oabi or Mrs. Ligori. So fire away.
Thank you, Mr. Berman. So the first question is, where do I find my child's Iready score?
That's a good question. I don't know that answer. I should know that answer, but I don't want to give you the wrong information. Maybe, parents, do you recall from where you got your first Iready score from? Did you not get your first Iready score? I will find out for you. That's a really great question.
Will absent days count for high school this year?
I am reluctant to answer that question because I don't know. I think it's up to perhaps the individual high schools. I don't know the answer to that question. I can tell you that for the specialized high schools, no, attendance is not considered for those schools. There may be some schools that you apply to that are screened that do look at attendance, and I don't know, but I do understand why some families might be concerned about that. There have been some recent changes on how we do code attendance, but in the past, generally, if a student's not been in school, they've been marked absent.
Thank you, Mr. Berman.
You're welcome.
Do we have spirit wear, t-shirts and sweaters with the school name on them? Kim, would you like to take that?
I was actually just putting that in the chat. We do have merchandise, and we'd actually hope to be able to sell it at in-person meetings. However, we will be trying to make it available online, or we will be sending home a flyer, an order form that you can order it, and we'll give the merchandise directly to your kids. I would say it'll probably be about 4 weeks, and then we should be able to do that.
Excellent. Is it possible to know more accurately the actual day of exposure to COVID so we really know which is day 1, 5, and 10?
If your class is notified the day we find out about it. So that's pretty, I'm not sure if that answers the question, but that's how that works.
Is there a plan in place to address the discrepancy between screen students and the current 6th grade class? What we do not want to happen is that this 6th grade is held to a lesser standard than previous years, or that teachers view these students with a biased lens.
We've had a diverse array of students for the last 12, 13 years. since phase one special ed reform and phase two special ed reform. So our teachers have had experiences with a wide variety of students. This is nothing new for our teachers. We will tailor instruction for the students so that we can make sure that everyone gets what they need and everyone succeeds. I'm not sure if that's the answer that you're looking for, but that's how we approach education. Our teachers don't plan lessons for specific classes. A science teacher plans lessons for his or her science classes. There may be individual students in each class who need certain adaptations or interventions, and we treat those on a case-by-case basis. And but at the same time, you are going to see differences in performance between groups of students. I think that was pretty clear in the data that I showed you, where you can see a much more diverse array of grades in the 6th grade than you saw in the 7th grade. It's much more homogeneous in the 7th grade. That's the way it is.
A parent wrote in the chat, to see Iready scores, ask your child to log into their account and check under my progress, and you will see the test number. So thank you, whatever parent,
Right.
Miss Wu.
Thank you.
Okay, someone else has asked, what's the breakdown for the Iready score? My son knows his score, but we don't know if that's a good score or not.
Well, it should tell you what level, and you should compare the level from the beginning of the year to where you are now, not necessarily compared to another student. So as long as your child is showing growth, that's what we're looking for, right? We're not looking for everybody to be at the top. Ultimately, that would be nice, but growth is really the key. Is your child doing better than they were at the beginning of the year? Hopefully your data will show that for your child.
If students do not have any symptoms, can students come back to school after 10 days after they test positive?
10 days, yes, but not before.
We're notified of a COVID case on a certain day, but the actual exposure when that person was in class was several days prior. Is it possible to know the day of actual exposure when that person was in class?
No. Or we would tell you. We don't want to keep anything from you.
There are no questions right now in the chat. If you have any further questions, please indicate so in the chat or use the raise hand function. Okay. Usually, one other question. Usually schools host a Zoom meeting class during the 10-day quarantine. However, we do have the Zoom meeting. I don't know if it's we do or we do not have the Zoom meeting class for students recently. Not, yes. Thank you, Ms. Chen.
Yeah, right now teachers are not required to do synchronous instruction for any students who are absent. Students who are absent for COVID are entitled to asynchronous instruction, and the teachers will have office hours for those students where those students can interact with the teacher. But right now there is no Zoom requirement for teachers. So in general, they are not doing that.
Thank you, Mr. Berman.
That would
Any
be
other
synchronous.
questions? So sorry.
That would be synchronous instruction.
Any further questions for Mr. Berman or the PTO? Mr. Berman, I think that's it.
Great, and I think we will have Mrs. Damazatovsky at the next meeting. And if you do have questions about high school that you need answered, please call Mrs. Damazatovsky. She's happy to answer your questions. Just call the school, ask for her, ask for guidance, the guidance department, you have a high school question, and they'll be happy to get you that information. Great. So
Perfect. Thank you so much, Mr. Berman.
You're
If we don't have anything further, I guess we can call our January 2022 meeting to an end. Everyone have a wonderful evening, and we will see you next month.